third time's the charm. I've had to do this 3 times now because I messed up the recording the first 2 times. So, whatever. Hello! Hi. This is Ian with Geeks Welcome. And I'm going to be reacting to some old Foundation. Well, actually, I'm going to be reacting to the original videos for Gaming Wildlife, the Gaming Wildlife Foundation, which was our original series that we wanted to make for the channel. This was the whole reason we made a YouTube channel, was to do this show. So, I'm going to be reacting to the first 2 videos. I want to react to the third, but that one kind of requires its own video because I have to talk about some other things about the video, and that will be its own thing. But the first 2 videos we're going to be looking at today are the Proto Gamer, the Omni Gamer, and I'm also going to take a look at some bloopers and deleted scenes because I thought those were really funny, and nobody watched them. Nobody. It's a weird disparity to see, like, some videos on our old channel have 3 million views. Well, a video has 3 million views, but a video has 3 million views, and then a couple of our blooper reels have, like, 400? It's like, wow, it's amazing there's that dynamic, like, it's a lot. There's a lot of distance between our most popular and videos that just nobody watched. I don't know. Anyway, so let me talk about the Gaming Wildlife Foundation. This was the whole reason we made a YouTube channel, was to make this show. It was conceived originally, we were going to pitch it as a pilot to The Escapist. Because I don't know if you remember back, if anyone was around back then, but in 2008 to about 2010, The Escapist held an annual film festival where people would send in pilots for shows to be featured on that website. And we had wanted to make a pilot for them, and we were like, how do we do that? We need to do some sort of gaming related thing. This is where this entire concept came from. I don't know if we ever actually told anyone this, but we had seen, like, there was an animated series that got greenlit one year. There was a music series, and of course the Loading Ready Run Unskippable series that got greenlit for The Escapist through their film festival. So when 2011 was rolling around, me and some friends were like, okay, we want to make a pilot for this. We had originally written 2 episodes, one of which I'll talk about next time, but the other one was a console wars episode where we sort of looked at the whole idea of, like, hardcore versus casual, which was a big talking point back then, like back in, it would have been, 2010, I want to say, 2011. Yeah, 2011 was when we were going to do it, and so casual versus hardcore was a big thing. That, like, oh, if you're not willing to spend, 12 hours or 100 hours into a game, you're not really playing. The problem is, of course, that publishers have now taken that to an extreme amount, because now people will spend, I mean, 100 hours is expected from every game, and not every game can be 100 hours. I myself have found the optimal amount of time for a video game is, for me to get the most enjoyment, is about, like, 15 to 20 hours. If it's more than that, I can only really play, like, 1, maybe 2 games at a time like that. But if it's less than that, it feels like I don't really get my money's worth. So, hey, publishers, if you ever watch this, I don't know if you will, 15 to 20 hours, good amount of time for us to be able to enjoy your games and not have it feel like it's a second effing job. But so that was the big thing, is that we were going to do a console wars, sort of talking about, like, what Xbox players are like, what PlayStation players are like, and at the time, what Wii players. Nintendo Wii was the big console at the time. We had conceived this whole episode, written out a script, and then 2011 rolled around, and The Escapists did not do their film festival. So we said, okay, we're just going to do it on our own, because we had, like, been watching stuff like Loading Ready Run. We had been watching Zero Punctuation, obviously, on The Escapist, and we were watching. I myself took a lot of influence from. This is going to sound weird. Epic Meal Time. Yeah, I know that's a very odd choice because EMT is drastically different than what we did for the Foundation series, but there's some elements to it, like you can see. Well, you probably can't see, but originally I had wanted to do, like, that was the first time I realized that YouTube was a platform that you can actually make a name for yourself on. Because here's these dudes, they literally built an entire web series on let's make big food. That's it. That's all they did. And I was just like, well, hell, I could do stuff like that. And I want to do stuff like that. And so I had built an entire series idea around, okay, I want to do gamer videos because I am a gamer and I know a lot about gaming humor and I know a lot about gaming stuff, but you can't just be like, I'm going to do video game videos. What is your hook? Our hook was that we were going to focus on the people who actually play the games and the personality types of people who play the games, and we're going to do it in this sort of weird mishmash. It's like David Attenborough by way of the Crocodile Hunter, but sort of done in a, like, spoofy, satirical parody way. It's a weird show. Like, literally, if you took, like, 6 different show concepts and blended it together, that was the Gaming Wildlife Foundation. But, we thought it was a good idea, and so we ran with it. It's like, let's make some funny videos, and the first couple of videos are weird, very weird for their own thing. But I'm going to take a look at these and sort of stop and start and tell you about, like, our thought process and everything that we were trying to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Proto Gamer. So yeah, that I had someone tell me later that you should probably change your logo because Nintendo might come after you. I think I said this in a previous video, but yeah, Shoshana had actually originally drawn the logo for Gaming Wildlife Foundation, which was, the G, the W controller, and the F, which is a tree, and so we went through a couple of variations on that later on. But yeah, this was our original hand-drawn logo. I thought it looked cool. I thought it was a cool concept. Like, oh, hand-drawn, that's pretty neat. But here we go. For this episode, we take a look at one of the smallest and most vicious beasts in the gaming kingdom.
I can't get past this part! Get your butt in here!
This is the Gaming Wildlife Foundation. So, the original video, we actually did a trailer for this like a month before we posted our first video, and it got maybe 100 views. But yeah, early on, the Foundation series was definitely getting, like, not very many views, like 100 here, 200 here, that sort of thing. But yeah, so we kind of do this in a documentary style. And the very first episode is about it. Like, each episode sort of had a concept behind it. So the big concept for the first episode was your younger brother who loves to play games and who will ask you, hey, can you beat this part for me? That was the concept. And so it's like, okay, we start there, and then we sort of build out, try and figure out what's the story we're trying to tell. And yeah, the nature style documentary thing, it's weird, isn't it? But we wanted to be weird. We wanted to be strange and try something that was really out there. So yeah, this was originally created by me and Shoshana, and this is the first episode. So yeah, just continue. We really did want to play with the whole, like, outdoorsy thing. Like, this was, like, it was a almost like a nature preserve, like we're going into the wildlife preserve, and Charles himself kind of had we never really settled on an accent for Charles. I think the whole thing is that he doesn't necessarily need to have a settled accent. He doesn't need to be where's Charles from? I don't know. He's just is who he is. I remember later on in the series, my business partners were like, we're just going to drop the accent altogether. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But we did. Because, that happens. But anyway. Welcome to the Gaming Wildlife Foundation, a very much for-profit organization dedicated to the study of the species of animal known as the gamer. very much for profit because I just thought that was a funny line.
I am your host, Master Charles Davnow Bates.
All right, let's talk about the name. This name came from if you've never seen a play called Picasso at the Lapin Agile, one of my favorite plays of all time. It was written by Steve Martin. There you go. That's what it was. I don't know why my brain just froze there for a moment, but yeah. So there's a character named Schmendeman in the play Charles Davernau Schmendeman. He's meant to be sort of this like schlocky like spur of the moment guy, and he's there meeting with Picasso and with Einstein, who are these famous characters, but people only really know Schmendeman as this dude who just like made this product and then kind of got rich quick, and then everyone forgets about him in history. And so I wanted Charles to sort of be an element of like this schlubby dude who no one really cares about, but that he thinks what he's doing is amazing, that sort of thing. And so the Charles Davernau was sort of a play on Schmendeman from Picasso at the Lapin Agile, one of my favorite plays of all time. So his name is Master Bates. Yeah, let's talk about that. It's a dumb joke. That's it. That's the whole. I thought it was funny, sort of like how Epic Rap Battles always has a dick joke in every single episode. I just thought this was a funny, tongue-in-cheek way to sort of be like, yeah, his name's get it. His name's Master Bates, and he doesn't get it. Like is Charles Ace? I think. I wonder if Charles is Ace because there were several episodes where he just like does not at all get like people are flirting with him or people are like, hey Charles, what do you think of this? And he's just like, I don't know. I wonder if I subconsciously made Charles Ace. Maybe. But yeah, he doesn't get it. The whole joke is that his name is like it. There was an old Saturday Night Live bit with Colonel Angus with Christopher Walken, and the entire time they're just doing a bunch of euphemisms for oral sex, basically, and just everyone was just like, I don't get it, and he's just like, yeah, I don't get it either, and then one guy gets the joke, and he's like, what? Oh, like one person understands that it's meant to be a dirty joke. But yeah, this was a dumb joke for the sake of being a dumb joke. There wasn't anything else to it.
And I am the owner of this here wildlife reserve. We house over 80,000 different species of gamer.
That's ambitious. 80,000. Did we think we were going to get 80,000 episodes? We got about 45, 46. Future Ian can post the actual number below, but yeah, 80,000. Oof.
Including the hardcore, the casual, and various other...
Oh, right. So, yeah, hardcore and casual. Here's our first reference in doing that sort of thing. I think we eventually wanted to do a, like, hardcores versus casual kind of episode, but, yeah, 2012 was a different time than 2022. Like, oh, if you're not spending 80 hours in a game, you're not a real gamer. The whole No True Scotsman thing, which I'll talk about more next time. But yeah, it's weird to think how it's like you aren't a hardcore enough gamer if you don't spend 80 hours on every game, and now every game expects you to spend 80 hours on every game, and as it turns out, oh no, you can't do that. You can't spend 80 hours in every single game, and the fact that publishers keep expecting you to is ludicrous.
Other predators.
Okay, what in the hell is all this? So, Sonic Alpha Beta... We do actually end up doing some of these as episode. So yeah, the two we never really touched on were, like, COD Faction and Xbox Faction. We actually never really did We talked about doing an Xbox episode. The Xbox Live. This would have been during the... This was before the Xbox One, so it was during the 360 era, and Xbox Live was just a gigantic mess. And Call of Duty, which I thought Call of Duty had died out, but I work with some people who are just like, oh yeah, Call of Duty is like the third most popular game online. I'm like, seriously? People are still playing that? But yeah, like those were two things we never really touched upon. Were Call of Duty and Xbox. I keep itching my nose because my nose is itchy.
and prey
Oh,
alike.
I can't read any of this. I can't read any of this. I don't know.
Our team of experts and research assistants have dedicated their lives to studying these creatures in their most natural of habitats.
So, yeah, I think that was a big thing with the series is like, is Charles actually like, is there an actual like foundation? Is there an actual wildlife reserve, or is Charles just going to people's houses and annoying them? That was a big element of the series, was that is Charles actually welcome here, or is he just kind of going in and annoying people? That there was this sort of disparity between, is it like, dementia is not the right word, but is it all in his head? Is he, well, not actually all in his head. No, he's doing this, but is he like, does he not understand, like Charles doesn't understand the nuances the of like social etiquette and whatnot, and he's definitely going to barge in, ask questions, and then be like, okay, well, thank you, and then leave, and you're just like, who the hell was that? So I think that was a big question that we never really answered. Is there an actual wildlife reserve, or is he just going into people's houses and being really annoying?
This video series will help educate the public on the culture, the eating habits, the fashion, the mating rituals, and above all else,
Go back real quick. Culture, diet, fashion, lack thereof, the mating rituals. What? Yeah. We I don't think we ever touched upon that because yeah, so we're creating this to look like a nature documentary, and we're using a lot of terms from nature documentaries, but we're going to be doing it about about gamers in general. You get the concept, of course. It like this very first episode, we really sort of roll into this and we kind of drop it at a later point, which I think really sucks. We should have kept doing it, but unfortunately, as time went on, I it was harder for me to uh, it was harder for us to like go out and film things, but it was also because we were always balancing jobs, but it also I kind of lost control of the group as time went on. Um, if we were to do this again, which I'd like to do this again, I think we might try more of the nature documentary stuff, but yeah, as time went on, it was just like, let's just go into people's houses. Who cares? Charles just shows up and does stuff.
personality types of the animals within the gaming kingdom.
Yeah, it is about personalities.
Our first episode takes a look at one of the most vicious and cunning predators within the kingdom, one that has plagued society for years, but never seems to get the attention of the public, mostly because they disregard this beast as going through a phase in his or her life. This is the proto-gamer.
Yeah, we actually had episode numbers early on, and we dropped
Approximately
those after a while.
one-third the size of a full adult gamer, yet somehow 5 times as deadly, the proto-gamer is one of nature's most vicious hunters. You can observe many similar traits to adult gamers that the proto-gamer adopts. Its love of junk food, its utter dedication to its gaming, and the way it traps and devours its prey. The most distinguishable trait of the proto-gamer is its utter inability to finish any game by itself. It could spend hours, even days, trying to get past just one level, but anytime the difficulty ramps up slightly, it will go hunting for its prey. For more on this subject, we go to the head of research at the Institute on Watching Young People Play Video Games, Dr. Kevin Richards.
Okay, so my dad, once again, who's an awesome guy. I love my dad. So yeah, we did this. I think our original idea, and this, we did not follow these rules. We set up rules for the series, and then we just never followed them. Because when you're writing, you just write. Okay, you can set up rules and guidelines for yourself, but ultimately you just kind of throw them out the window for just whatever works at the time. I think the idea is that the subject itself was always just going to be regular people. The expert is sort of like how the world looks at gamer culture and sort of like turns their noses up at it, and it's like, oh, this is ridiculous. And then Charles is sort of meant to be a bridge. So like Charles is ignorant of gamer culture, but he wants to learn more, and he gets stuff wrong all the time, but he means well. It's just that his experts completely miss the point. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And I feel like as time went on, we kind of stopped using experts. No, we still used experts, didn't we? Yeah, we still had some experts, but yeah. And then also, I don't know why my dad has an accent. I think I told him, let's give you a goofy accent, and so we did. Also, in every project I had done prior to Gaming Wildlife, I always had a character named Kevin Richards. My wife is sneezing. Also, prior to Gaming Wildlife, I always had a character named Kevin Richards in everything I ever did. I don't know why. I think it was just one of those names that we used early on in some of our videos. And so, yeah, his name's Kevin Richards. Just a thing we did.
This is the first stage of how the proto-gamer sets a dominant stance inside its surroundings. First, it must reach a point in any game where it cannot continue. The most commonly recorded occurrences are the Water Temple in any Zelda game, or the Turbo Tunnel in Battletoads. Next, it lures a larger creature in, typically anyone in the local area, whether it be a sibling or parent, through a series of primal calls we've named persistent nagging. Once the prey has been captured, it will be forced to play the game endlessly, slowly being killed through its onslaught of backseat gaming.
Which, once again, we did a backseat gamer later that the guy who's playing his brother, David, ended up doing. But yeah, as you can see, like, how we expand upon the thing, we always had opening bit. Charles introduces the character. Charles out in the wild going, here's what the episode's going to be about. We then see the actual subject in action, and then we have the expert talk some more about it, at which point then we kind of go back and forth between Charles and the expert, then back to the subject again, until we've said everything that needs to be said. Yeah, we did organize this like an actual TV show. Like, let's do this like we were doing a TV show, because we all went to film school. We learned a lot about how to organize things behind the scenes. But as it turns out, you kind of need a different attitude when doing a web series, because if you're going to be updating every single week, you can't just keep up with, like, constant, like, shooting like this unless you have an actual budget. And we did everything, and I mean everything, on $0 budget. So, like, Charles's outfit came from, like, a costume shop, which someone gave to me. I think my mom actually gave me that costume. Dad's just wearing a suit that he wears to work. And like, the controller we have is like a PlayStation 2 controller. It literally, you just do the whole thing on a minor budget because, we were just out of film school and we had no money, and it's 10 years later, and I still have no money. Haha.
If another animal were to enter the den of the proto-gamer, they too would be subjected to its nagging, typically luring in the new prey with smaller inquiries like, "It's just this level," or "I can't beat this one boss." It would take quite a strong-willed person to endure and refuse the plight of the proto-gamer, but would be more successful if said person was related to the beast through a family. The proto-gamer's main prey is usually an older, more slow-moving animal within the ecosystem. One would think that when looking at the proto-gamer, in comparison to its prey, that the proto-gamer would be able to fell such a rotund, large, and fat beast.
What is the reason that...
Which, that's funny because David's a pretty, like, thin dude. A pretty, like he's buff. Like, he knows, he works out quite a bit. And so it's just like, rotund and fat beast. It's like, wait, why would you say that? Yeah, wait. Yeah, the early episodes are very odd, and, like, we had a very basic, strict structure that we stuck to at first, and then we would completely throw it out the window as time went on. But yeah.
The proto-gamer is so successful in all of its attacks?
In 95% of cases, this is due to the environment the proto gamers caught up in.
I think he changed his accent because we forgot which accent we were filming. Literally, that was, we forgot. We're like, which accent are we doing? I can't remember. I think it was Irish. Let's just go with Irish. Because we didn't know what we were doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. We didn't know what we were doing back then, so we're just making stuff up.
They weren't born this way, but were merely introduced into a world of video games, usually by a brother, sister, or even a parent. The family member begrudgingly goes along with helping them, hoping one day they might be able to complete an entire game by themselves. Or at least grow an appreciation for the world of gaming itself.
But in most cases, the prey will fall, and the proto-gamer will persevere, further feeding its insatiable lust for control.
He does this to me every day. Can you please help?
Once again, kind of playing into the idea, Charles is not really welcome here. He just sort of came by and was like, hey, can I film some stuff with you? And the person's just like, I guess, maybe. And then they just let him in. So yeah, Charles is never... he's not welcome here, but decides to come anyway. So that was kind of the early jokes that we had with the web series.
As with all species of gamer, the proto-gamer must learn to adapt on its own so it can become a productive member of society.
No, I'm not doing that level again!
Without any outside help.
Mm-hmm.
For the Gaming Wildlife Foundation, I'm Master Charles Davinout Bates. Good night. Let's get out of here.
Yep. That was the Gaming Wildlife Foundation. That was the first one. Oh yeah, filmed in cooperation with KU Filmworks. So yeah, we were borrowing equipment from the university at the time. We didn't have our own equipment yet. We wouldn't actually get our own camera until like a year and a half later, which I still have. It's right there, and my audio recorder is right there. It's the same one I've been using for about 10 years, and it works just fine. We did get better equipment, but some of it didn't last very long, and others, I think, were taken by other people when the web series fell apart. But anyway. David Tennant. Yeah, the kid was fun. I can't remember who did that. You saw the credits, someone. But yeah, so that's the Proto Gamer episode. And so what if your little brother kept asking you for stuff? The next episode's a little more eccentric and odd. It's the Omni Gamer, which is like people who multitask during games. So you might notice that these two episodes are not formatted correctly. It's because, like I said, we didn't really know what we were doing, and I was the editor in everything in the first year until I got until I got someone to actually do editing for the show, and so I didn't know how to format this. I was still editing all of this on a academic version of Final Cut 7. So I had a Mac laptop, filmed everything, and edited it on there. That's actually also where I got the song. The song is a royalty-free piece that I can't find anymore because it came with GarageBand, and they had a bunch of royalty-free music on there. And so, yeah, everything in the first two episodes was not formatted correctly. It wasn't until the third episode that I actually figured out, oh, here's how to format this for YouTube. But we were filming everything on what was called a Sony HVX, which was a remarkable piece of technology that filmed everything on a hard drive. Can you imagine? Yeah, hard drive cameras have existed since forever, but yeah, we were kind of using outdated technology. Even when we finally got a Canon T2i in 2013, it was still not exactly top of the line, but it did fine. It recorded in 1080 and still does, still works. It's right over there, right. I am pointing at it right now. Canon T2i, and it does just fine. So yeah, these first two episodes were not formatted properly for YouTube because we didn't know what we were doing, and I don't even think they're in HD. I think they're in standard definition because everything kind of looks a little janky and stuff. But yeah. The second episode featured Shoshana's brother, who was the Omni gamer himself, and so this is a person who multitasks during games, but yeah, kind of weird concepts to start with, but yeah, this was how we did this.
You haven't seen true multitasking until you've seen this particular creature at work. Fascinating. This is the Gaming Wildlife Foundation.
Again, it sort of like implies that Charles literally just came into these people's houses and was like, "Can I just film you?" And people are like, "Whatever, I guess." And then he just did. I think that's part of the humor of it.
Trying to do too many things at once is said to be almost scientifically impossible, as most creatures just don't have the brain process to undergo such a demanding task. This brings us to our subject of today, a species of gamer that revels in the art of multitasking. This is the Omni Gamer.
Still doing episode numbers. And that's
Coming
Lance.
from the Latin word meaning every, the Omni Gamer is a subterranean species harboring a great disdain of both the light and the outside world. It subsists on a diet of mainly snack food, candy, and highly caffeinated beverages. While every individual in the gaming kingdom has a preference for a specific type of console, the Omni Gamer will usually be found using every console
Again,
available,
it's the PlayStation
as its
controller.
namesake suggests. Caution was needed while venturing into the home of the Omni Gamer, as it is a very skittish creature and may flee when startled.
We can see as we enter the lair of the Omni Gamer that it's a bit of a scavenger, feeding off of a lot of free samples of candy and any other foods that it can find. It will only rarely go out for fresh food. I guess when it's ever necessary.
Yeah, he's just like...
We
Who are
entered the
you?
lair without disturbing the creature, but it was alerted to our presence. Thankfully, staying away from the creature's food and gaming resources kept us out of harm's way. On this expedition, we had with us our own wildlife expert on multitasking species, Robert Bobson.
We see here the Omni Gamer playing Silent Hill 2.
I don't know why we insisted on doing this so often, but we did. That like every expert had to have a silly accent of some kind. But yeah, that's just what we did.
You can observe the way he moves through this maze that he's played this before. Now, at the same time, we can see in the background a walkthrough for another unrelated game, a playlist of dubstep music, and a movie. I don't understand the second walkthrough. Oh! He is playing a second game at the same time as the first. This is what defines the Omni Gamer. Not only does he play any type of game, but also that he plays multiple games at once.
Yes, they're quite good at multitasking.
The Omni Gamer is playing Silent Hill 2, making a Silent Hill map in Minecraft, and watching the movie adaptation of the game. It seems fantastical, but all these different entertainments have his attention at the same time.
So I feel like we were just making stuff up, honestly. Like if we were to do a different Omni Gamer episode nowadays, I feel like we would focus more on like people who, listen to podcasts while playing games, and also who seek out games where you can do one thing but also do another at the same time. Because with this episode, it kind of just feels like we were making stuff up. Like, oh, he's playing Minecraft Silent Hill, he's watching the movie Silent Hill, listening to Deadmau5 and doing all this stuff. Do people actually do like 5 tasks at once? I feel like in 2012 maybe not, but in 2022 maybe so. But yeah, we made stuff up. We just kind of wanted to get into some sort of content creation thing. But yeah.
How is he able to do all of this?
It's not that difficult.
One of the more astounding facts about this species is that while it can play all games legitimately, it is also able to cheat in any and every video game ever made, including games which aren't supposed to have cheats.
It's been reported that the Omni Gamer, while good at games, is better at cheating. Where does he find these cheats if they don't actually exist?
It would take us 4 or so years before we actually did an episode on cheating, on cheater gamers. Like, we did one about pirate gamers, we did one about modding, but we finally did a cheater gamer episode in, like, 2016, I want to say. It was one of the last episodes that we did, but yeah.
Dude, it's called the internet.
It is not clearly known where or how the Omnigamer finds his cheats or how he implements them. It's one of those great mysteries of the gaming world.
Again, the expert doesn't know shit. Like, that's the whole joke. Charles is ignorant to the situation but wants to learn more, and the subject is just a regular dude.
Internet.
I mean, look at his screen.
I don't know what... I remember getting this... I don't remember what this was. This was like... not Morrowind, Oblivion mod where you could put Pyramid Head in. I don't know, we found this footage, we're like, oh, this is kind of fun, and thought it would work for the video. Just kind of an odd choice.
For God's sake! He's playing as Pyramid Head. Is it possible? How does he do that?
Okay, modding, emulation, internet. It isn't that hard. I'm hungry.
Excellent. The Omnigamer appears to have run out of food. We have a rare opportunity to see the Omnigamer get fresh food for itself.
Now, he doesn't want to venture too far, being a none too social creature.
Hey!
But he also is quite well known for his cheapness.
Excuse me?
The Omnigamer will seek out the least expensive of sustenance, requiring the least expenditure of time, money, or energy, which he will expend exclusively towards his game.
So... what did my... That was my phone, by the way. My
Will
old
seek
phone.
out
What
the
does that
least
say?
expensive of sustenance,
So yeah, I always keep that little seal as my background, just because I think he's cute.
requiring the least expenditure.
Okay, what is it? Like, one-player games, creative, entertainment, game utility, multi-games, music, newsstand. Remember newsstand? That was old stuff. Photo and video, sleep, utilities part 2, website entertainment, and website other. I think we literally just downloaded a bunch of apps, and it's just like, just show a bunch of random stuff on his phone, because I did not have that many apps on my old phone.
Of time, money, or energy, which he will expend exclusively towards his games.
I think Cheapo Pizzas was like one of our... I think we just renamed it, but I don't know.
Alright, we've got a rare opportunity here. The Omnigamer is going to be forced to interact with someone from the outside world. Best yet, it's a woman. Let's watch.
Oh, this doesn't age well. What? That was Ray. She shows up in a later episode.
A 15-cent tip? Are you kidding me?
Also, I think we got the pizza boxes because I was a delivery driver at the time, and am a delivery driver once again because, you know, gotta pay the bills.
Remarkable.
Yes. We should get out of here before the feeding starts. The process can be quite violent.
Okay, so I don't know what we were doing here. We were just like, oh yeah, he eats foods by just like tearing into them. I don't know. What were we doing here? We were making stuff up.
So, as you can see, the Omnigamer is quite the fascinating specimen. Just don't get in its way when it starts to feed.
Oh yeah, we were like, Lance died.
For the Gaming Wildlife Foundation, my name is Master Charles Davenant Bates. Good night.
Yeah, no. I don't remember what we were doing with this, but it's just like, oh yes, he died in the process. This is a fun episode. And just like shovel all of it at us, like everything at once.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom nom nom.
No.
That was fun. But yeah, so that was the Omni Gamer episode, and it really kind of feels like we just threw whatever idea we had at the wall. It's just like, what can we make into an episode? This is going to be odd and bizarre and weird, but there were a lot of concepts that we never really got a chance to try, but still we made like 46 episodes. That was the Omni Gamer second episode of the Foundation series. Real quick, I would like to take a look at one of the blooper reels. I don't know if I'm going to keep anything from it, but I would like to see the blooper reel because it's funny to me how usually like the one thing you love to watch is blooper reels for like TV shows and stuff, but the amount of views on this video is 47K, and the amount of views on the next blooper reel is like 400. It's so weird to see such a large disparity. Action. I don't know why we got so much footage of my dad doing this, but it's just hilarious.
Let's redo it.
Okay,
Stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. On his head, like bongos on his head.
Thank you for doing this, David.
Like rest, like grab his shoulders and like. Yeah.
He's going the wrong direction, Brian! Steer him in the right one! Steer him!
David hit it.
Did the punch come across well?
It goes, punch, fall.
Kids having fun. This is so silly. I don't know why.
Wait, do I do the flip thing?
You can, yeah, do it. Yep.
Donkey!
I don't know. The kid really liked to say donkey a lot.
If another animal were to enter the...
I don't know what we're doing here.
If another animal...
For this episode, we take a look at one of the smallest and most vicious beasts in the animal kingdom.
Dave! Wait.
Yeah, I messed that up. Alright, let's do it again.
Ready? Action. We recorded like 6 different no, not 6, but like 3 different versions of this opening intro. Welcome to the Gaming Wildlife Foundation.
Let's do it again.
Okay. What? Wait, were you recording? Our team of research assistants and experts have dedicated their lives to making sure we watch... I keep on messing up. That's a good thing we do this now because YouTube is big sticklers now about cursing.
Sometimes twice a day.
These are animals. Of course they're going. We actually are going to talk about the mating rituals in some of the later episodes, but
We never did.
Gamers don't mate, you silly.
mating rituals, whether or not they are successful, is an entirely other point. The fashion, the mating rituals, and even the personality types of animals within the gaming kingdom.
Jim's over there.
Such as this one, which is walking right toward the camera and shot.
Mostly because they disregard this beast as going through a phase in his or her life. His or her. That. No.
Boy, you been walking now,
No,
boy?
600.
Our first episode takes a look at... I probably walked too
I
far.
went too far.
Slightly.
He does this to me every day. Can you please help?
Sorry. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, so... Yeah, there wasn't really much to it, but I thought that was fun.
Action.
Oh, I love my dad. He's fun. That's just silly. All right. So yes, that was the Gaming Wildlife Foundation, and also I don't know how much of the blooper reel I kept in, but I'll probably keep in a couple of shots. But yes, so the early episodes are very much like you can see the influences of we'd watch some nature documentaries, trying to do sort of a David Attenborough by way of crocodile hunter thing, and then we had experts which didn't know anything. Charles is very ignorant, but the subjects for the most part were just normal people who were just like, wait, you want to come in? I guess you can come in, that's fine. But yeah, so first two episodes of the Foundation series, they're weird in their own way. I've definitely had some people tell me that this series is a bit cringy, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care. Like, cringe is something that, first of all, it's a meaningless word. It doesn't, like, oh, it cringe. It meant that you kind of cringed while watching it, but who cares? Like, people are going to like or dislike your stuff. There's nothing really much you can do about it other than just do stuff. That was the big attitude we had early on. We just wanted to get some stuff out there, and you should too. This is why I'm trying to redo the whole YouTube thing in 2022, because I feel as though there's still A, an audience from our old work that want to see new stuff, and B, just make something. Put something up on social media, make something that you want to make, and see if people will flock to you. And most likely they will. Most likely they'll like what you do, and even if it's supposedly cringe, who cares? Just make stuff, you know? So next time, I am going to look at the third episode of the Foundation series, which was a controversial one at the time, for a few reasons, and I'll talk about those next time. But for now, thank you for watching this. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out our Patreon if you want to give us some money to be able to make sure that we can pay our new editor to do some of this stuff, although I'll probably edit this episode. But yes, thank you all for watching, and next time we'll tackle the controversial episode of the Gaming Wildlife Foundation.